Hey, thank you for tuning into the first episode of The Urban Nerd, and I am your boy Des from the Grumman Collective, and today we're going to be talking about Ash's Alolan Championship, Sham or Nah. Yes, that's right, Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. I know it's a little bit out of date, but I have to get this off my chest. So before we get into anything, let me tell you what you're going to be hearing here on The Urban Nerd. And here on The Urban Nerd, we're going to be covering everything about video games, anime, cartoons, TV show, and movies, creating rants and raves, reviews, theories, and debates. So before we get into this first episode, I'm going to give you a little bit of my background and how I've gotten into nerd culture. I am a two-time competitor on American Ninja Warrior, and once this epidemic is over, I will be going for my third time on season 12 this year in the year 2020. Hopefully, things get back to normal and production kicks off. I am a big anime and cartoon fan. I've been in cartoons my whole entire life. I've been into anime since I was about 6 years old, waking up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock to watch Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon on Channel 11 way back in like 95, 96. That's how I got started into anime. And I used to be a really big video game fan. Like, I was one of the best. You ask any of my friends, like, we played Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I was the guy that was kicking out, 300 hit combos and stuff like that. But I've fallen more into the category of your casual gamer as life has taken a toll, and I have a lot of responsibilities, and I'm not able to get into gaming like I used to. And you guys today, man, you guys are beast out there. I mean, the combos and the things that you guys come up with on these games is just like, I ain't got the hours to put in to even compete with you guys. So I like to play casually, Team PS4 all day, every day. But I got nothing against Xbox or anything like that. So today on this first episode, I want to get this off my chest because it's been bothering me ever since the news broke, ever since I seen the episode. And I want to talk about Ash Ketchum and how his first championship is a sham. It's a complete sham. It's a fraud. And I'm going to go into detail just talking about the actual Alola Pokemon Championship. We're not going to even get into the entire Sun and Moon series because the Sun and Moon series was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It gave me a lot more action. It had some very detailed stories. I just, I really just couldn't get into the lack of gym leaders and stuff like that. But that, that could be something I save for another video. But this one we want to keep it particularly to the Alolan Pokemon League. Why I think the whole thing was a sham. And even though I've been a fan of Pokemon for years, since it aired in America for about 20 plus years. One of the things that I always wanted to see was Ash actually win a Pokemon League championship. And in the XYZ series, I thought that was it. I'm still harboring a lot of anger at the fact that Greninja lost that fight to Charizard, and Charizard is hands down my favorite Pokemon of all times. But Greninja had that match. Let's start with the first episode, the Battle Royal 151. First of all, this was such a dangerous situation. I mean, you have 151 people with 151 Pokemon with these giant explosive moves and people that could do Z moves just out there just shooting their moves and nobody got hurt. Like, this was crazy. Like, how this whole tournament was not thought out at all. Like, did anybody have anybody's well-being in mind when they said, hey, put them all in a circle and, let them fire it off. They'll be all right. What bothers me about the Pokemon Battle Royale 151 is there was no credentials to enter. Anybody from anywhere can just enter. You didn't even have to go through the trials. You didn't have to have a Z-ring or anything like that. All you had to do was literally just show up and say, me, I'm going to do it. Because, that's exactly what Acerola did. Her uncle Nanu came to judge, and she was just like, well, since I'm here, I might as well enter. And she makes it to the top 16. So that right off the bat bothered me. And then, when you see the all the students from the school enter, it's like you knew hands down that they all were going to make it to the next round because they were going to help each other. And that was corny to me, man. Like, none of these guys are really even battle tested. Sophocles, come on, yo, just like what, 3, 4 episodes before the Pokemon League started, he just got confidence in himself to actually be competitive. None of the school kids except Kiawe should have made it to the next round. But anyway, we knew that was a shoe-in. Guzma, come on, we knew he was a shoe. He came in with a whole gang. He came in with a gang of people. So there was no way they were going to allow him to not make it to the next round. None of these competitors, I feel like, have the experience that Ash as a battler has. They may have had their trials and their different type of experiences, but as far as Pokemon battling, the grit of the game, blow for blow, Ash, definitely the school kids, he got all of them beat. He was a shoo-in. But even Ash had to be saved by Gladion, which I bet you he regrets that now, don't you, Gladion? Instead of taking the opportunity of blowing Ash out of the water when he was down on the ground in the dust, disoriented, no, he decided to just let him go. Say, I'll meet you in the finals. Man, yeah, you did that, didn't you, buddy? All of the school kids make it. Elima makes it. Acerola makes it. And then you have Elima, who was jumped by all of Team Skull. He makes it through. And then you have the artist lady from, if you played the Pokemon games, Sun and Moon, you ran into this lady. I think she was one of the trial leaders or whatever. Melina, the artist lady, whatever. She makes it through, and Principal Oak makes it through. Oh my God. So anyway, now going into the next round, you have Ash versus Faba, Elima versus Guzma, Hal versus Principal Oak, Milo versus Harwana, who are both from the school, Sophocles from the school going against Melina, Jesse versus James, Kiawe versus Acerola, Lily versus Gladion. My God, yo. It was like these pairings were set up for people to lose. Like, every fight Ash was in the XYZ Pokemon League, you was on the edge of your seat, and you really didn't know, because of Ash's history, if that was going to be the end for him. And I never got that feeling during this Pokemon League. Since anybody could have entered, they should have brought back characters from previous Pokemon seasons. 2 characters that come to mind, simply because they were already set up in Alola, was Misty and Brock. Guzma should have humiliated Lily. I feel like that would have built better character development for Gladion. Kiawe has come a pretty long way. They have developed Kiawe more than any other of the school students. Kiawe has had, outside of Ash, of course, he has had the most development. I like him the most, and he's the only one out of all the school kids that I feel like was truly battle tested and was ready for this. And I think it would have been great for him and his character development to go ahead and fight Brock for that rematch, because when they fought the first time, man, Brock laid the smack it down. But I definitely feel like that would have been a great rematch to see, and that he could have met Ash in the semifinals, because let's be honest, yo, the fight that they had after the championship, I mean, who counts that and really didn't get to see the whole battle or whatever? Oh. If you want to hear more about the pairings and how I feel the entirety of the full competition should have played out, go into great details into what Pokemon battles who and all of that, comment below, let me know what you think. Or if you just want to tell me below, who do you think who would you have liked to see in the Alolan Pokemon League go against, compete and go against other characters? Let me know, man. Let me know your guys' feelings and thoughts down below, so that way we can get the debate going. So going on to the next episode, titled Battling Besties. So first out the gate, you have Ash versus Faba, which was a joke. So somehow Faba made it so that Milton was going to be the Pokemon used during this battle. And Milton just eats Hypno's coin. and then shoots Hypno in the face with a single flash cannon, ending that match quickly. Now, when I say that they rushed this competition, I mean what I said. They really, really rushed this competition. And it kind of annoying because I feel like even if they had the same matchups, if they would have took a little more time with them and built it up a little bit more. Like the final battle when he fought Kukui, the animation was different, the music was different, everything was different. That was a really good round. I feel like every single round should have been like that. At least all of Ash's rounds, if nothing else. But anyway, let's continue on. So he wins that match. Then Elima goes on to fight Guzma. He Mega Evolves his Kangaskhan, which I was like, oh, that's kind of dopey Mega Evolution going on. They about to jump my man. Scizor ain't about to beat both of them. And what do you know? This man Guzma is pretty talented as a Pokemon trainer. He made it so that the young Kangaskhan was always lined up in front of the big Kangaskhan. Therefore, the big Kangaskhan couldn't get out of the attack. So he was always able to sneak around from the right side and catch the Kangaskhan off guard. So I thought his strategy was kind of cool. But again, the match was so fast. About time I find myself being interested, the match was already over. None of these matches really had substance. You really didn't care who beat who except for if Kiawe won his match, Gladion and Ash. Everybody else was irrelevant because you knew they were all going to lose. You knew that none of them was going to the finals. And the only ones that you really cared about really seeing, like, I really didn't care about seeing a Lysapai fight get a rematch with Pikachu. I didn't care about that. Like I said, I would have much rather have seen Gladion fight Guzma in the semifinals instead of Kiawe, and Kiawe could have fought Ash. That would have been a way better wrap-up for his character development. I mean, yes, at the end of the series, you got to see the end of their little match and Ash wins that, but that's not the whole match. That match didn't hold any substance. That match wasn't an official battle. The best would have had close out Kiawe, so he would have had him lose to Ash inside the Pokemon League where it mattered, where it actually counted. The next episode is going to be called Battlefield of Truth and Love. Can you guess who's going to be fighting each other here? So they start off the match with Sophocles versus the artist Melina. And, you know, I'm not even going to talk about this match. It was trash. Jesse versus James. Hiya! They can't fight. You would think after all these years of Pokemon battling, they would have better skills. They would be, I feel like this isn't the first time that James has gotten to the big stage in the Pokemon League and has, like, fallen out. I'm going to look that up. But I feel like anytime he's, like, really put in the forefront to, like, lead, he, like, freezes up when, he has a really big opportunity or whatnot. But they just can't fight, man. Like, this was so annoying to see. Like, why did they even have to have that match? Is Wobbuffet just there, protect and mirror coat all the time, over and over and over? Like, you couldn't use Mimikyu. Y'all couldn't have an actual fight. They had to have an endurance battle. That was so trash to me. That he wins by using the same move consistently until there's a giant explosion from these daggone spikes. Waste of time. It was a waste of time. I sincerely feel like it was a waste of time. Here comes what I think is probably the best match of this round, and that's not saying much at all. What's Kiawe versus Acerola. And I only think that was good because it just really shows how far Kiawe is away from all of the other people in the top 16. It really shows how experienced he is when it comes to Pokemon battling. As he would say, it really shows how bright his battle spirit burns. And before I go on, I also have a channel on YouTube called NJP Gaming. Over there, I have a series called Retro Arcade with me and Big Neff from the TGC podcast. We're playing old school games from Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, things like that, and we're talking about things going on in the world today. It's a very great series. You should check that out. We also have a series with my friend Gary playing video games with his son, and a bunch of my theories about different cartoons like The Flash, the CW series, all the CW superhero series, Steven Universe, and a bunch of other things. So make sure you check that out, NJP Gaming. Anyway, back to this. So now we have Lily versus Gladion. I mean, like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Did anybody think that she had a chance of even entertaining you in this match? Or that this match would possibly be any fun? Because I know I didn't. This was just a throwaway. Next episode, Imitation, is the sincerest form of flattery, I believe it was. I didn't write the whole thing down. But immediately at the top of the key of that match, you have Gladion versus James. This would have been the round where it would have been really dope, even if the lineup stayed the same as it was. It would have been dope if Beware would have came back and tried to take Jesse and James would have poured his heart out to him like, yo, man, we really want to win this for truth and love, yo. We want to, you know what I mean? Help me, let's fight. And he agreed, and he actually got in there and fought against Gladion, pushed Gladion to the edge, and then Gladion would have had to level up. We know how powerful that Beware is. That Beware, he went up against that Ultra Beast, bro. He's super fast and super strong. That Beware was powerful, probably too OP. He probably, if you're thinking about it in retrospect, might have beat Gladion if he came back and fight. That's why they ain't let him use him. But it would have been great. But anyway, nope, he fought him with his own Pokemon, and it was a throwaway match. It wasn't even, again, super fast. So now we have, dun-dun-dun-dun, probably the luckiest match in the world and the trashiest match I think in the entire thing. I think this is what really, really upset me about the entire competition, and that is the simple fact that, first off, Ash has a history of always learning a move that is a decision maker in a really big match of his right before the match. And that tends to get annoying after 22 seasons. So Rowlet is out learning feather dance, and just as his match is about to start, Rowlet comes back and they're like, all right, we good to go, let's go. So they get into this match. Rowlet is wearing a costume to resemble the Decidueye. Right off the top, Ash does his Z move, Bloom Doom, and Bloom Doom completely missed. Hal and the Decidueye does their Z move, and what is the outcome of that? The only thing that gets hit is the costume that Rowlet was wearing, and Rowlet is completely unharmed. First off, when has it been legal for you to just put on cute little full-blown cosplay costumes on your Pokemon and let them in? Like, that's just like if Kiawe gave Marowak an extra bone, here, son, take this. You need 2 of these. You need 2 of them. You need 2 of them. So next time somebody eats your bone, you got a backup bone. I don't feel like that was even fair. And the fact that it helped him in the match, come on, man, that's not fair. He should have been DQ'd. But anyway, let the match continue. And it doesn't get any better from that because the two end up clashing moves, and the Decidueye uses a not even fully charged Sky Attack against little tiny Rowlet. Now, let me tell you how I'm always against first form evolution beating third form evolutions, because to me that completely makes the idea of evolution null and void. You evolve your Pokemon to get stronger. So if the first form can beat the third form, then what is the point of evolution anyway? But again, that's a conversation for another episode. So they clash, and it wasn't even powered up, but it was enough to knock them both out where they were struggling to stand up. Birds of prey can't get up. But they get up. The Decidueye stands to his feet, confidently stands to his feet. Rowlet does not. They call a match. Hal's the winner. Hal dances. Now, terribly, his grandfather's such a hater. He says, "Hold up. I have an observation to make. Look at Rowlet." Ash runs into the ring, pick Rowlet up. Rowlet ain't knocked out. Rowlet is asleep. Ash is allowed to shake Rowlet until Rowlet wakes up. Rowlet wakes up. They restart the match. Now, when in Pokemon history has a Pokemon ever been put to sleep as a result of a Pokemon move and the trainer was allowed to come into the ring and wake that Pokemon up? When has it ever been allowed for a person who is not the judge of the match, an outside observer, to raise their hand and say, I want to say something and change the outcome of a match? And the only time that he does it is to his own grandson. That should have been the one time you should have turned the other cheek to see your own grandson win. Let's be 100, folks. Let's be real. His grandfather is a hater. Of course, Rowlet gets back up, and so he goes for another sky attack. Now, this time, this thing is charged. Oh, boy, he about to hit that thing. And just as he about to connect, what move do you think Ash used? I'll give you 3 seconds to figure it out. 3, 2, 1. If you answered Feather Dance, you are correct. The move he learned right before the match ends up being the decisive move to save his life for this battle. With the luck, man, Ash is the luckiest dude in the world. You know, there's a theory out there that Ash Ketchum is not really alive. He's in a coma. He's dreaming of all these great things. I'm starting to believe that theory because this guy has too much luck. Too often. And it's actually started to wear on my nerves. And look at XYZ and look at what he had to go through to get to where he got. To just almost win. Again, I'm still mad about that. Can't talk about it. Don't want to get myself all riled up over cartoons again. Ash's luck continues as this episode starts out with Milton coming down. He's like, yeah, I'm here. And then all the other little Miltons come up, yo, bro, what's up? You call us? He's like, yeah, yo, fam, come over here. We about to do the thing. They're like, oh, the thing? He like, yeah, we about to do the thing. And they start to do the thing, the fusion dance. So they all started to do the Pokemon version of the fusion dance. And they come together and they make Melmetal. And right off the bat, Melmetal displays this super strong move. Double Iron Bash. Double Iron Bash, whatever you want to call it. And it's super dope. But what bothers me about that is, like, this Pokemon did nothing to evolve, and then right off the bat, he knows this super strong move, and now he knows 2 moves. You're going to take these 2 moves and go and use them to win with these 2 moves? That is trash. That is trash, my friend. That is so trash. So now he's going into this battle. What is it, 3-on-3? What it just blows my mind because, as stated before, every other Pokemon League, the last battles are 6-on-6. You know, a full Pokemon battle. But it is what it is. I thought that was kind of corny. So the episode starts off very lackluster. You know, they introduced the Pokemon, double arm bash, blah, 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 whatever. Again, there was nothing about this match that made me say, "Oh snap! This is kind of dope. This is kind of good." So that episode seemed very short, and then we get into the actual episode, which is Enter the Champion, which you have Zoroark versus Pikachu, which I actually liked, only because of the Z move collision. And he was like, he did the Nightmare Z move, and then Pikachu was just like running through all the arms, and he decided to do his Z move, and it was just like, it was dope. When they collided, I found that to be kind of dope. Why not? And it was a double knockout. Okay. But I feel like Ash always gets a double KO in Pokemon League. At least one time he gets a double knockout. Every single time. Is it just me, or am I right? Somebody fact check that for me, please. And then, of course, more predictable shenanigans. You have Lycanroc versus Lycanroc. And this match made me so mad because it was the battle of counter. Every other move was counter. And it just didn't really feel like a championship match. It felt like a gym battle at best. It felt like Gladion was a brand new gym leader, and this was a gym battle at best. As a matter of fact, if you think back to XYZ when Lucario fought Pikachu, that one battle was better than every battle in the entire Alolan Pokemon League. Everyone. There is not one battle that outdoes that, except for Kukui fighting Ash, those fights were kind of dope. But you can't say that any other match can compare. No way. No way. So then you have Ash. Oh, what was I? Lost myself. Bring it back, bring it back. You don't remember like that. So, it was a lot to be desired in this match. Um, it was very boring. Like I said, it was the battle of counters. Everything was countered, and at the end of the match, the defining, winning move for Ash's like a rock was what that he never used before. Counter, 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 counter. Because Ash just knew that his whenever he learned it, I've never seen Ash use counter before with Lycan Rock. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But to me, it seemed like he just magically learned it because if he knew it before, why did he use it the entirety of this match and the plenty of times he was getting countered? He could have been into the match way sooner. So and that was it, man. That's how the initial competition ended. With Ash's Lycan Rock using counter to knock out Gladion's Lycan Rock in this 3 versus 3 battle. And yeah, that wraps it up. Just that calmly. But anyway, moving on. If you guys want to hear more about my fantasy pairings and who I would like to see battle in the Alolan Championship and the format I would like to see, such as this 6-on-6 battle for the final round, let me know in the comments down below, or simply let me know how you guys think the Alolan Championship should have went and who should have fought who. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I wasn't going to continue watching Pokemon. I was that disappointed, but hearing what's transpiring in Pokemon Sword and Shield, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. After hearing that Ash caught a Gengar and a Dragonite, I kind of got sucked into the series, and it's looking pretty good. Ash is building a pretty big team. I'm not really interested in Gold's story because he's catching Pokemon with no effort, and that's kind of annoying me. But besides that, it's looking like Ash is trying to enter the championship of championship, the World Championship. And the reason why he had to become the Alolan champion was because the World Championship, everybody in that top 8 bracket is all going to be a champion from some other region at some point in time. So for Ash to make it to that top prestige level and not be a champion probably wouldn't sit right with anyone. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I don't know what to expect. It would suck for Ash to be a champion in the previous season and then not be a champion in this one. But again, it is the best of the best from the entire Pokemon world. So I'm very excited to see how this ends up. Now, moving forward, on our next episode, we're going to be diving into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, talking about Phase 4 and Phase 5. I have a bunch of amazing theories, such as how the Fantastic Four will be introduced, the next Spider-Man movie. I actually want to talk about WandaVision and this House of M theory that I have cooking up in my head and how that's going to tie into the MCU. A lot to talk about this Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff, so make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm going to try to tie it all together in one episode. It's probably going to be a 2-parter because it's that much to talk about. But see you guys there soon. Thank you for tuning in. This be your boy Dez. I'm out.